Hey guys, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'll be creating a red spring inspired nail design featuring flowers and bling. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. First things first, I'm cleansing my nails with alcohol to remove moisture and oils. I have been trying to grow out my natural nails, so I do have hard gel to act as a protective barrier to help them grow. So I'll be using Jello Peel Off Base Coat. If you're aiming for long-lasting nails, you can swap this out for a regular base coat instead. So I'll cure the base coat for 30 seconds. And I'll be using dual forms to extend my nail length today. I love using dual forms. They're super quick, easy, and save a lot of time in my own opinion and experience. So as lip solution, I'm using 91% isopropyl alcohol to keep the polygel from sticking to my brush. And for this set, I'll be working with Beetle's Clear Polygel. And I'm going to squeeze out a bead of polygel and just place it on the dual form. So I'm dipping my brush into my shot of alcohol and just press the sides of the glass to remove excess alcohol. So I notice an air bubble, so I'm gently pressing it with my brush to get rid of it. And now I'll just pat the polygel down toward the tip of the form, smoothing it out until everything is nice and even. So last time I made the tip too thin and didn't like how it turned out, so this time I'm making sure to build a bit more thickness. So there's too much polygel, so I'm just going to remove the excess. So I'm making sure everything is even, and now I'll just apply it on my nail and slowly press it down toward my cuticle, making sure there's no air pockets. So I'll also pat the polygel on the underside as well and remove any excess polygel. So before I cure it, I'm just going to clean the sides and wipe away polygel on my skin. So I cured the polygel for 60 seconds. My nail lamp is getting a bit old, so I like to cure a little longer just to be safe. So I finished the rest off camera. So now I'm just going to remove the dual forms by gently twisting the circular tabs, and that should lift dual forms from the polygel. So on my index nail, there's an air bubble that I didn't notice. So when I'm filing, I'm going to check how deep it is and just fill it in. So once polygel cures, it does leave an inhibition layer, which is basically an uncured layer that's tacky and sticky. So I'm just removing that with alcohol, mainly just focusing on the underside. So now I'm just going to file my nails. So the nails don't need much shaping, so I'm using the finer side of the file to smooth around the cuticles and just create a seamless transition. And I'm also shaping them into a sharp pointed stiletto tip. So the air bubble on my index nail is deep. It doesn't affect the surface. I mean, I can go in with a drill and just fill in the nail, but because I'm only going to wear the nails for about 4 days, it shouldn't be an issue. However, if you plan to wear them for a few weeks, then I do recommend using a drill to properly fill the bubble. So next I'm using a buffer to smooth the nail surface and just remove any file marks. Then I take a wet wipe and just carefully clean around the cuticles since dust tends to collect there. So the nails are ready for nail art. So I'm just using this nude color from Elisa and I'll be applying 2 coats. And this is such a beautiful nude shade. So for this look, I'm going for a sheer red style, with the star being this red jelly gel polish from Christmas. So using a long thin brush, I create the French tips by drawing a line across, then adding lines on the sides and just gradually rounding them out to form a smile line. So before curing, I make sure to wipe off any gel that's touched my skin, as this helps prevent allergic reactions. So after curing, I apply a second coat to deepen the color. So near the tip, I want a subtle hint of milky white, and I use a milky gel polish from Elisa and just blend it out with my ombre brush. So I cure the first coat, then just proceed with another coat. So it's still quite soft, so after curing the second coat, I'm going in with a third. So I'm using a soft pink gel polish from Model 1s on my index nail, applying 2 coats since one looks a bit streaky. Then I'll just outline the nail with a sheer red gel and add a short French tip at the very edge. So after curing the first layer, I'm going to go in with a second coat to deepen the color. So I've cured the outline. I want a subtle red tint at the base, so I'll try using an ombre brush with the sheer red gel. And I'm actually not loving how it looks, so I'll switch over to using the brush straight from the bottle instead, and that actually works so much better. So I'll cure that for 30 seconds. Next, I'll use a milky white gel to create swirl designs. I know my thumb and pinky look a bit empty right now, but I'll be adding rhinestones and pearls later on to give everything just a sparkly finish. So I'm going to apply that same nude gel polish on my middle nail, and I want it to be sheer on the nail tip that no longer touches my nail bed. So after curing the nude gel polish, I'm going to paint the nail bed area up to where you can see my natural nail length with the sheer red color. So I know it might look a little strange at first, but it all comes together at the end. Just trust the process. Once that is cured, I'm using the soft pink gel from Modelones to create a trendy design you've probably seen before. So I'll start with drawing a reverse French tip by drawing a horizontal line, extending vertical lines upward on each side, and just rounding the smile line. Then I add a regular French tip on the opposite side. I don't think this design has a name. It kind of resembles the letter H or even the Honda logo. So after curing, I apply a second coat to even out the slight transparency. Then I just hand paint parts of the flower, just the petals. So on my ring nail, I'm going to create a 3D sheer red flower. I start with a sheer red base, that'll be the background color. So after curing the sheer red, now I'll just make the flower. So for the flower, I mix non-solid gel from this brand with the sheer red polish to achieve a glass-like effect. So adding too much polish changes the consistency, and since it's about like 86 degrees, the heat makes it even trickier to work with. So I just rolled the gel into a bead, and honestly, it looks like strawberry jam. But I'm just going to place it on the nail, and just using a silicone tool, I'll just shape it into petals. And this definitely took multiple attempts. I edited quite a few tries, but just know this took many, many tries. So the changing consistency just made it challenging, especially in the heat. So I did cure each petal individually to keep everything in place. So the flower is complete, it's cured. So now finally on my pinky, I'm going for a water marble or tie-dye style flower. I start with the nude base again. Next, I'm going to apply top coat, and I'm not going to cure it because it's going to act as blooming gel to diffuse or help spread the gel. So using the soft pink gel, I draw petals and just let them spread. So I'm going to hurry and just quickly add more petals on the other side. And that looks great. So I'm just going to cure it in place. And then inside the petals, I'll just draw smaller petals with this brighter and darker pink. So after curing, I'm going to draw smaller petals with the softer pink this time. Then for the center, I'm just going to add a ball of the sheer red solid gel. And now I'm just going to apply top coat on the entirety of the nails and just make sure to get into the crevices of the 3D flower. So I'll just cure it for 30 seconds. I'm going to decorate it with rhinestones, pearls, seashells, and caviar beads using rhinestone glue gel to secure them. And each nail gets its own unique design. So on the ring and pinky finger, I'll also add droplets and 3D lines by mixing rhinestone glue gel with top coat. So I'm going back to the ribbon charm on my middle nail, and I'm going to seal around it with glue to keep hair from snagging. Then I'm going to do one final 30-second cure. And that's the finished look. I really love this sheer red style. The rhinestones add a beautiful pop and just elevate the whole set. My favorite part has to be the 3D flower. But that comes to the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what your favorite part was of the video. I love reading your guys' comments. But with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.